If you thought about 5 or 10 years ago where you were, you are not anywhere near the same place then as you are now. I know you've had some growth and I know you've accomplished some goals. Maybe not all the goals you wanted to, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is to look at what you have accomplished. So I know you have accomplished things and I know you are not where you used to be.
Welcome to the Share the Wealth Show, where minority professionals can learn to escape the racial wealth gap and catapult themselves into abundance. Your host, Nicole Pendergrass, grew her net worth from being negative to multiple six figures. Join her on her investigative mission to expose secret strategies of the wealthy so we can all have the tools needed to build the life and legacy we were created to possess. Now it's time for the show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Share the Wealth Show. This is the show where we discuss strategies on how to grow, build, and protect minority wealth. Now, today, I do not have a guest. It is just little old me coming to you myself just to talk to you about some things regarding gratitude since it is Thanksgiving holiday season. And Thanksgiving is tomorrow as of the time this recording is going to come out. But there's some things I kind of wanted to touch on and talk to you guys about. Some things that I have actually been going through myself or have gone through before and have been learning the process on how to get through it. And this is all about sharing, right? So I wanted to share my strategies with you in hopes that it will help you too. So it's almost the end of the year. We know that. It's time for New Year's resolutions to start going crazy everywhere. But before we start planning for the future, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, let's take a moment to just reflect. I know that you're thinking that maybe the only thing you can reflect on is all the 2022 goals and resolutions that you didn't do. Right? How many of us started off the beginning of the year with all these plans, grandiose ideas and themes, and then they started slowly trickling downhill, and we did not complete a lot of the things that we had on our plate. One is because we put too much on our plate to begin with. We are always overburdening our to-do list with too many things for the amount of time that we have to accomplish those things. We don't plan it out strategically. Even my daily to-do list is too overburdened because I overestimate how much I can get done in a small amount of time, considering the one-day window, when I'm also trying to juggle work, kids, and everything else, right? So instead of being upset about the things I didn't do, I should be grateful about the things that I did do, right? So here I have found the best exercise that's really helped me in order to reflect and actually get gratitude and have gratitude for what you have accomplished already. So let me share what that is. First, this is about thinking backwards to where you have come from, not looking forward to where you are not yet. You get that? You need to look at where you came from and not look forward to where you are not yet. Wherever your goal is, whatever that looks like to you, wherever you want to be, you're always going to be progressing toward your ultimate goal, whether it's the person that you want to become, whether it's the lifestyle that you want to have. And there are multiple things within any goal. There's a lot of steps throughout the process leading to that goal. And as you are going through those steps, that goal is actually going to shift and change a little bit. No one's 10-year goal stays the same by the time you get to year 10. It's always going to alternate and change and conform to the new person you're becoming along the journey. Because when you start this journey, you're one way. As you start taking those steps, you progress, you develop as a person, you become a bigger person because you have a bigger mindset. And that bigger mindset can accomplish much bigger things than your original 10-year goal or 5-year goal, right? So your goal, to say all that, your goal is a moving target. It's going to change. But in the meantime, to enjoy the process and not be frustrated continuously with what you have not yet done, stop and think. First exercise, stop and think to 5 years ago. Where were you at then? What were you doing? What were your goals at that point? What have you accomplished since 5 years ago? What do you have now that you did not have then? Whether that's a mindset, whether it's physical assets, whether it's you're no longer in debt, whether it's you paid off a credit card, whatever it is, it could be something super small that was plaguing you before 5 years ago, but now you've kind of solved that. You could have cleaned out your closet and got rid of all those old clothes. You could have revamped your wardrobe. You could have started taking care of yourself, doing more hair, nails, whatever to make you feel like a boss or feel confident in yourself, right? So even if that's a new habit, new habits could be something that you accomplished since the past 5 years. It doesn't have to be huge, right? Okay, so now you did that. Write that down as an exercise. 5 years ago, think about that. Actually write it down too. Now, 3 years ago, what have you accomplished in the past 3 years? What about 1 year? And now even think 6 months ago. Ask yourself those same questions. What did I want to do then? What did I accomplish? Not what I didn't accomplish. What did you accomplish? Where are you today? Sometimes some things weren't even on your plan to do, and opportunities came up and you took advantage of them, or something just fell in your lap, or whatever it was. So some things happened that you actually didn't plan for, but are actually good things and help progress you toward your ultimate goals, right? So that when I did that exercise and I looked back at where I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I didn't tell you 10, but you could do 10 too, ago, and especially 3 years ago, how much I accomplished in the past 3 years has been a little bit insane. And the entire time, that 3 years, all I was doing was stressing out about what I was not accomplishing and what I was not doing and how I was not moving as fast as I thought I should be moving, right? We all do that to ourselves. And then we get in our own minds and we end up just being walking around frustrated at life and things that are happening because it's interrupting our progress, or it's making us stop and put out little fires here and there, instead of being able to sit and have deep focus on the one thing you were trying to do for the day. You always have to stop and figure out this or do that, or, get the car fixed or take your kids over here, or whatever it is that is coming up in daily just life and is pulling you away from the things you want to focus on. It just makes you frustrated that it's interrupting your concentration or your focus, your journey, right? So all of that 3 years was my mindset. I was more about not being able to handle that. I was not moving as expeditiously because you know what the problem was? I was focusing on everybody else. I was looking at what everybody else was doing. I put myself in rooms where I was not the smartest in the room. I was not the most successful in the room on purpose because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And in doing that, I did not know how to control the comparisonitis that was going to happen to me. And I'm looking at everyone else's journeys and I'm looking at what they're accomplishing. And yeah, I'm happy for them, but I'm sad for myself because I'm not there yet. Instead of actually looking at where I came from, as I don't know anything about their journey. I don't know anything about where they started. Like I know people's stories, but everyone gives you like the overview. You don't really know the nitty gritty and the sleepless nights and the, arguments with a spouse, maybe, or, crying in a corner. I don't know, like what other people had to accomplish and get over and push through in order to get those things in their journey to be happening at the speed that they're happening now. Because it could have been 10 years of being extremely slow. And all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. And you're looking at the boom, 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 but you didn't see the 10 years before. So how can you compare your journey to them when that was not what you see now is not what they had to go through? They earned those stripes, right? And I think that is just something we all need to think about very carefully to prevent us from comparing ourselves, because then that can make us not grateful for what we actually have accomplished already and not satisfied with where we already are. You can still have those goals, but you need to make sure you're comparing yourself to yourself, not yourself to somebody else, because that is not a measure of growth. You're comparing apples and oranges, right? Let's not do that. I just want to say, I guarantee you, can almost guarantee you, if you thought about 5 or 10 years ago where you were, you are not anywhere near the same place then as you are now. I know you've had some growth and I know you've accomplished some goals. Maybe not all the goals you wanted to, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is to look at what you have accomplished. So I know you have accomplished things and I know you are not where you used to be, right? There's been growth. If you put any time and attention into that growth, you're so much different. You're stronger, you're wiser, you're more confident. Maybe you stepped through a fear and just got that thing done. Maybe you did it. Maybe something that people told you couldn't do. And you said, nah, you know what? I'm going to show you, or I'm just going to keep going this way anyway, because I know this is the direction I'm supposed to be headed. I know these are the things you're supposed to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm nervous. I'm scared, whatever it is, but you just kept pushing through. That made you a stronger person. You had to push through fear and uncertainty in order to get to be the person that you are today, stronger and able to handle that same kind of situation because now you've already faced it. Maybe you found a solution to an obstacle or something else that you thought was insurmountable. Maybe you grew your net worth. Maybe you got rid of some debt. The last time I came to you solo, I spoke about the fallacy of balance. If you missed that last solo episode, that was episode 25. So go check that out. But in any case, practicing this method of fostering gratitude by looking at how far you've come it makes it so much easier to actually give yourself the grace needed to deal with frustration that can come from dropping balls or not juggling everything perfect every time. We get too hard on ourselves for just being human, right? If you listen to that episode, you can't always put 100% focus on every single area. You're never perfectly balancing everything all the time. There's always going to be a little bit more focus over here, then this falls off. Okay, now a little bit more focus over there. Now this falls off. And whatever it is, you just drop balls, pick them back up and keep walking, right? So all that to say, let's just stop comparing ourselves to other people. Let's stop being upset that we're dropping balls on the journey. Let's look at how far we've come in the past and compare ourselves to ourselves. That will help us be okay with the hiccups and the fires and the obstacles and the other things that get in the way, air quotes, of our progress. It's really helping us form into the person that we need to be in order to handle what we're trying to get. Okay. As an entrepreneur with like big goals, sometimes we have a subconscious thought that a lot of us have been taught as kids. And even if it's not directly someone said that, it kind of is lurking in verbiage and other things like paradigms that we've been raised under. And if you are, someone with big goals, which I believe you are because you're listening to this podcast, right? You're looking for those resources to grow your wealth and to get to that next level. But this one thought can really lure its ugly head. And this is what I had to stop and think of too. So you got to be careful of your subconscious. If you always want more, if you always dream of having bigger or better things, then that must mean that you are not happy with what you have now. That must mean you take what you have now for granted because you're always looking toward the future and for the next bigger and better goal. Now, is that not true? Of course, that's not true. Of course, you're grateful for what you have today, but there's that mindset that if you want more, you must not be grateful. Like, where did that come from? But I know I have heard that before. I've had that subconscious. It's in the little phrases that we're fed as kids. And we have to realize that that is not true. This is not an either or scenario. Successful people understand the power of the word and. Actually, so do kids, because have you ever had a toddler or a young child to pick between two things that they really want? They're always going to say both. My daughters always say both. I try to do the whole mind trick thing with like, let them decide, but the actual decision, because two things that you decided, like you pick blue or you pick red, and because you want them to wear either one of those and make them feel like they're making a decision. They will always say, I want the blue one and the red one. Why can't we take a clue from kids and their mindsets? Because they haven't been inundated yet with a lot of the beliefs and paradigms that we as adults have been from our childhood, right? Let them live and let them express that, and let's take, ideologies from them because they're just young and they don't know. But what they don't know is actually things that we should really be unlearning, right? But in any case, you can have big goals and still be grateful for what you have today. And this strategy of looking previously at your past is a perfect way to do that. It's a way to still remain grounded and grateful for where you came from. So that is really what I wanted to come to you about today. And I probably chatted a little bit longer than I thought, but I think this is such a subject that I'm so passionate about because it's one of those mindset things that can really put a hinder on your growth and your development and just make you feel like you're not doing enough and be too down on yourself. And I think you need to give yourself some credit and really realize what you have been able to accomplish. And then maybe pat yourself on the back. Okay. I'm patting myself on the back for everybody listening and not watching. Anyway, so that's it for now. What I will say, I want to announce, this is something else that I'm super grateful for. Over the past year, me and my husband have been working on turning one of my 5-year-old daughter, Madison, she has such a great personality and imagination. And last year around this time, she was telling everybody in the family about this story that she was not from this planet. She had superpowers. Somebody stole her superpowers. And the only way for her to get it back was she had to go find a book. And where was that book? That book was on Earth. So she had to get to Earth to find this book and find her superpowers. So, I mean, this book, I don't know where she came to the story with. But in any case, we thought it was so great. We really wanted, my husband especially, really wanted us to do a kid's book. So we've been working diligently this past year, making that the storyline and the overarching theme for her new book. And we just released it last week. It has already gotten a #1 new bestseller in a couple of different categories. And it's got like bestseller in at least one, if not more, but I try to catch them because they can come up, So I'm super excited. She's already been invited to like 3 different book signings to like launch her book and have a book reading and sign books. Like she's 5 and she's signing books. This is crazy. In any case, I'm telling you all this because this book is available on Amazon right now. It is called Everyone Can Be a Superhero. My husband and I wove some other kind of themes into the book. Like I had to put some real estate in there. We talked about some teamwork, mindset things, some other really good principles and learning and education for children. So please, if you want to pick up the book and support, there is a Kindle version. It's in Kindle Unlimited, or you can get the paperback. And let me know if you get it. Send me a picture of you holding it. And if you have a children that you want to give it to, if you have a niece, nephew, a friend that's having a baby, like anyone. Christmas is coming up, so this will be the perfect time to order a book and have those as Christmas gifts, right? In any case, we really think that they will love the storyline. There are some valuable lessons. There's also some free coloring pages. I will put the link to my website. There's a private hidden page on my website that has these coloring pages, but I will put that link below. The coloring pages are free. Even if you do not buy the book, you can get the coloring pages for free, but I will put that link in the show notes. But in any case, I'll also put the link to the book on Amazon in the show notes, but you can search it on Amazon. You should find it. Everyone Can Be a Superhero is like a blue cover with 2 little Black girls with puff hair on the front flying in the air. You will definitely not miss it. Everyone can be a superhero. Okay. And then the last thing, so this is another and moment, book and December 1st through the 3rd, Thursday, December 1st through Saturday, December 3rd, I will be a keynote speaker, one of the keynote speakers at an upcoming Legacy Wealth Building Playbook Summit. Can't forget the playbook. That's important. In any case, there are going to be a lot of speakers giving a lot of great value. If you are looking to build wealth, if you're looking for strategies, this summit is directly in line with why I've even started this podcast. If you are an individual looking for clarity on your purpose, if you're a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned business owner, this summit really is for you. There are going to be speakers but talking about anybody who's in any of those categories. There's going to be wealth building things and financial strategies. There's going to be mindset things. Like I've seen the list, and I don't even know everybody, but the ones that I do know, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to be there for the whole summit myself, because I want to hear these people talk. But these are great influencers in the space, and they really are there to give and pour into you. And I'm also pouring in and talking more about how to get involved in multifamily real estate. If you want to be active and if you want to be passive, and what that looks like, depending on the resources that you have available to you. And I have some freebies and some giveaways happening at the end of that too. So you don't want to miss it. Last thing I want to say about that, the tickets are free tickets. Do not miss it. Don't devalue the opportunity because you didn't pay for it. Renata Joy is giving away this conference for free to people. She's put tons of work into developing this program, and it's fantastic. I've seen the work that she's put in behind the scenes. So this summit is for you, the Legacy Wealth Building Playbook Summit. I will have the link for the free tickets right in the comments and the show notes as well. And if you want, if you enjoy the show, I've been doing this. I think this is episode 40. Wow. Any case, please be sure to leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. It really means a lot to me, and it really helps us share the wealth, right? We want to get this show out to more people so they can hear the guests and hear all the strategies and the mindsets and the journeys and the possibilities for what you can do and what other people can. If somebody accomplished that and they took this route, that's something. I know that there's tidbits in every story that you can take and embrace to your own journey, right? So I will very much appreciate that. Again, book, summit, and rating, all three of those in the show notes. And I hope the conversation today was helpful to you about how to make sure you are being grateful for what you've already accomplished, because I know you've done a lot. In any case, I will talk to you next time, and have a great and happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. Bye.
Did you love this episode of Share the Wealth Show? Be sure to connect with Nicole by following her on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. If you picked up any of the gems that were dropped by today's guest, make sure you not only put them in your bag, but if you know of someone who would benefit from this information, don't keep it to yourself. Share the wealth, and make sure to leave us a rating and review. We'll see you for next week's episode. Subscribe so you'll be notified.